Hey everyone, hey and welcome back to yet another episode of Battle Rap Resume. This is your host Tom Quee. Thank you so much for listening. If you'd like to follow the show, please follow us at Battle Rap Resume. If you want to know about new episodes coming up, news concerned with the show, please also get at me, battlerapresume@gmail.com. We're on Patreon, patreon.com/battlerapresume. If you'd like to help support the show, there are two main tiers. The first one basically asks £1 a month, and that goes straight directly back into the show. You get lots of exclusive extra episodes and previews of video stuff that I'm working on. If you'd like to go a little bit higher, about £3 a month, you get access to 2 Battle Rap Resume episodes weeks, maybe even months before they get uploaded. So go on to patreon.com/Battle Rap Resume if you want to help the show. Please also leave us a review on iTunes, subscribe on all the formats you're listening to as well. But I'm really excited to introduce today's guest. You know, he's been on the show before. He's one of my favourite battlers. He's an all-round great guy, and he was the first person ever on Battle Rap Resume. Shox, how's it going, man?
How you doing, Tom? Good to be back, man.
I'm really well, man. I'm really well. And we were just talking before actually about how long it had been, and it's weird because I've just gone onto my Skype and I can see the last time we spoke was like early January last year, and a hell of a lot has happened. But, you know,
it really has for both of us.
Yeah, well, you're going for the title now, which is just like, you know.
Yeah, well, how the fuck did that happen?
I know. And we're going to get into that. But first of all, I want to sort of go over, you know, the battles that have happened in the meantime. But before we do that, I mean, just general terms, is there any battles recently, any battlers that you've really been enjoying?
What's his name? Is it Geech Gotti?
Yeah.
Man, I love that guy. He's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
He's crazy. He's really good.
Did you see him versus Danny Myers? I think that was.
Do you know what? I was actually watching it as you called. I just paused it. It's on pause in the background.
Oh, shit. Oh, that's great. And I think you recently as well, I think on Twitter you were saying that you really dug Topper versus Sorus. Is that right?
Yeah. Do you know what? I hadn't done my research on Topper. Like, no. I know now he's a legend, but at the time I just never heard of the guy. And I watched the battle. I've been halfway through his first round. I thought I want to battle this guy. Like me and him would be so fucking energetic. It'd be crazy.
Holy shit! Yeah, that'd be fantastic, man. I agree. Like I didn't know who he was, and you go onto his verse tracker, and I think his last battle was on King of the Dot, like in 2013. But he's mostly kind of one of those off-camera guys from the early era, sort of thing. And but yeah, he was rewriting history on film, like the Man in the High Castle, like just in sensational lines. But obviously, we're here to talk about yourself, Shox, and I think the last time we spoke was kind of the Old English battle.
It hadn't even dropped at that point, is it? I think you had it on the pay-per-view, and we spoke about it before it had even come out. Yeah,
but that was kind of a turning point, really. I mean, to put it bluntly, you stopped smoking blunts, and you saying you sharpen your mind. I remember you saying you were like walking down the street and just bars would just pop into your head and stuff.
It happens now. I'll drive past something and it will just, the name of a shop, and it will just spiral into like a scheme that ends in a punch. I don't know how it happens. I'm not complaining. One of these days I'm going to sit down and it's not going to happen for me anymore, and that'll be when I retire. But I'm one of these guys. I can't sit with a pen and a pad and go, right, today I've got 2 hours to write. It just doesn't happen. I'll write when it comes to me. If it doesn't come to me, I don't write. It's as simple as that.
And in terms of upload schedules, the Loose Cypher battle was uploaded after the Old English battle. But the Old English battle happened after the Loose Cypher battle, is that right?
That's right, yeah. The Loose Cypher battle was, I watched the comments on that. A lot of people saying it's debatable. It's not debatable, man. That man cooked my ass. Like, let's be real. Let's be real. But I mean, I've got a lot of respect for him, man. He's my boy. He's a really good writer. I think he's underappreciated, really underrated, very underrated for what he does. But yeah, the way that battle went down and the way that I handled it on stage at the end, like, it was one bar I should have just left, and I didn't. I just dragged it out. And after that is when I thought, I've got to start taking this seriously. And then I do feel like that was really where I started, properly battling after the Cypher battle.
Didn't you say, was it against, you said you tried to say goodbye and you choked like Macy Gray?
Yes, exactly.
Which is
it was real. It was real. It just fitted. That's another thing, talking about how it just comes to me. I was literally, when I was driving along, the song come on the radio, and it got to the chorus, and I thought, oh, that really fucking applies to what I need to say to Old. So it just made itself. Very lucky that Hart decided to play that tune, to be quite honest.
Yeah. So we'll get into this batch of battles. We've got 4, well, technically 5, if we're going to talk about the Younan one as well, which we'll get to, obviously not online for a lot of different reasons. But first one I want to get into, obviously I'm a huge fan of yours, and after the Old English battle, I was really, really excited. It was kind of Shox 2.0, to use a sort of cliche phrase, and it was like, who's he going to take next? I've got to say, it was a surprise to see Shox versus Johnny Storm. I don't think anyone would have predicted that battle coming about.
Do you know what? Briggsy hit me with that out of nowhere, and I was like, the guy's a fucking legend.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I mean, he is an absolute legend, and it's like he might not have been. Like, I felt he was a bit of an older style than what I wanted in my next opponent, but I thought he's a good name, and it's just it's another one for the resume, isn't it? And when I started researching him and seeing that how he gets down with aggressive opponents, I was like, this could actually be a really good battle.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, Johnny is an old name. Just on his verse tracker now, he was uploaded first in 2008. So a hell of a long time ago, and I think he was one of the guys. I think Lush was saying it. There were like 3 battles that World Star Hip Hop picked up, and that's kind of how Grind Time got big. And he was one of their sort of figureheads at that time, sort of coming into it. So yeah, I mean, no doubt, he had a lot of prestige, and this was the Sheffield event, which was a great event. I think at the time people were saying, "Oh, don't flop's flopping" and all that sort of crap, but awesome event, wasn't it? So many good battles.
It was a brilliant event. The vibe was great as well. But yeah, it was an amazing event. Some of the battles there were really, really good.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't want to get too much into this, but apparently you had a little bit of Barney rubble with Psychosis or something.
Do you know what? This has done my head in, right? Since at the time I didn't know Psychosis like that. I just knew of him from seeing him, a couple of battles and seeing him jump in the disaster battle against Younan, and I had a bar in there that referenced him, and I thought, a lot of people say he's an aggressive battle. I thought it'd be good to call him out, but obviously he at that point hadn't kept up with Don't Flop in the slightest. So I approached him, being the guy that I am. I just say what I see. I approached him and I was like, "Hey man, like, I'm just letting you know I've got a bar for you today." But he was like fully hyped up because he was having drama with Younan.
Yeah.
There's an incident that happened that I'm not talking about,
sure.
we all know what happened that day. And he was sort of hyped for that. The adrenaline was pumping. And then when I approached him, he sort of turned around. He was like, "Why are you going to do that?" And it took me on the back foot. And I was like, just taking shots like it's battle rap. And he said to me, "I wouldn't do that. My boys are outside, etc., etc." And I really took it to heart because afterwards, and Briggs and everyone were like, "Look, take the line out." And I hate being censored, bro.
Yeah.
And I was just going to say it. And then Bagnall, who's a very, very good friend of mine, come up to me and he was like, "Look, can you take it out for me? Don't fuck the event up." And I'm like, "Oh man, like if he's asking me, I'm gonna take it out. I've got a good bond with Liam. Like, it's important." So I took it out, but afterwards I felt so like my manhood had been fucking taken from me.
Right.
And I did the stupid thing of going online and airing it online.
Yeah.
Like I look at it now. Like, I'll say this now because I've been waiting to speak to PH, but me and him have never been in the same room. And Dom, obviously, that you've had on the show, time, like he's really close with Theo, and he's one of my biggest supporters. And I talk to him all the time about it. Like, when I see PH, I will apologise for airing it publicly because as a man, it was something that could have been dealt with very easily with a conversation, and it was stupid. But as I've gone in now after the fact and watched what he does for the scene, these programs he records, this film he's making, even the way he does his artwork for his tattoos, like, he's a really fucking cool guy. I've spoken to a lot of people that know him, and I regret that whole situation, to be honest. But I'll fix that when I get a chance to speak to him one-to-one. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's good to hear, man, because, I mean, I don't know him that well, but I have him on the show twice. He is a great guy, really interesting guy as well, and it's just kind of, as similar as you, kind of beloved, I think, by a lot of fans, and it's kind of striking that you kind of, had that antagonism. But no doubt, I mean, let's get into fake antagonism with Johnny here. And, I mean, he had quite a good first round here. I mean, inevitably, you're going to hear so many Shox name flips, aren't you, really? Like, that's just going to come. Put Shox through the ground like cable cars. I thought that was quite hard, actually. And the whole break your jaw so hard you'd hate yawning.
Yeah, his first round, I remember when he came out and he spat his first round, and I turned around and looked at Ambi and I was like, fuck. Like, he's not taking me like, so I expected him to just not bother with me. Do you know what I mean? A lot of Americans make the mistake of coming over here, not so much now because we've all sort of built our names up, but when an American opponent that's done the rounds for years gets given someone that's just getting out of mid-tier over here, they tend to not try very hard. And he really, he came out swinging, and I thought, this is going to be like, I knew my material was strong, so I wasn't bothered. But I was just happy at that point. I thought, we're going to make a good battle. And I was so ill that day as well.
Oh, right.
I was so ill. I remember in the lead up to to it being cold, I was just standing outside, like taking air in, thinking, I feel so faint right now. It's terrible. Like, I mean, I don't think it noticed on cam, but I don't think I was as aggressive as I wanted to be honest with you. In my rehearsals, I performed that a lot more, and I just seemed quite casual. By the second round, I got going, but the first round, I was a bit slow out the gate.
Yeah, but I mean, you say slow out the gate. The round is crammed full of haymakers, really. Kind of I don't want to say slept on lines, like they were definitely dealt with well by the crowd. So-called Golden Axe about to get dwarfed by Barbarian.
Yeah.
Like, always got time for those golden Axe stuff. And not even something that doesn't really have wordplay per se. I just like the rhythm of it and kind of the image you're saying. Which flakes bet in the loot that out in the States, Mexican Drakes letting it shoot?
Do you know what? I was chatting to Andy and he sent me a picture from Johnny Storm's Instagram, and I swear to God, bro, I did a double take. I thought, that's Drake. Like he looks so much like Drake in the picture, and it was at the time they had the same beard, the way they'd done the beard, and the way he had his hat cocked to the side, and I was like, yeah, he looks like a Mexican Drake. So I just. I just went with it. Like, it was, it wasn't a punch per se. It was just I found it funny when I wrote
it. Yeah. And you mentioned as well something that I'd forgotten when I was rewatching this battle. Clips no-showed him, didn't he? But just before this battle, wasn't it, in Florida? I think.
Yeah, he'd literally he was. I'd heard from Lou that his material for Clips was insane, and I felt like everyone was like, oh, that's a big opportunity for Johnny Storm. Like, this could be when he really like gets new fans and reaches a new audience, and then Clips just didn't get on the plane, and I thought, I've got to use that a little somewhere, and I've got to.
Yeah.
I felt sorry for the guy, really. But.
Yeah, definitely. And talking of disrespect from vets, I remember this happening where I think there was like an update of the event, or live update to the event, and they quoted a bar in your first round that I think's quite good. One bar lift him up and put him down like a seesaw, and didn't Sorus like clown on that?
Do you know what he did? And I remember I was in the having a conversation with him in the comments.
Yeah.
Like, listen, bro, just wait till you see the battle. I understand. I'm one of them guys. I'm not gonna I've never stood there and argued with someone if I thought I'd lost that I'd won, and I'm not someone that's ever sat there and defended a bar if other people think it's shit. Like, opinion is important from all sides to keep the culture moving. But when he said that, I was like, it was a good bar. It was simple.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit there and say it was intricate. It wasn't, but it kept well with the scheme that I was spitting, and it made sense. It wasn't, it wasn't a reach in any way. So I was like, just wait until you see the battle. But then the battle came out and watched it, and I've not had any trouble with him since. He's praised me since. So.
Right. Yeah, I mean, no, I do remember him seeing and clowning it on and being sort of like, I don't know, it's like, it was just kind of difficult to see. It's like two people I really respect, and it's like, come on, Sorus, I'm sure you've had some terrible setups in the WRCs, like, let it go, man. But,
Oh, man, listen, like, I've got a lot of love for Sorus. Like, he's incredible.
He
but
is.
Everyone's got their tropes. He didn't like the seesaw line, but I'd like one day to see him spit any type of rebuttal without the word faggot in it, which would be amazing.
That is quite common. Yeah, that is.
Yeah. We've all got our tropes, mate.
Right. Yeah. Well, talking of faggots, actually, Storm asks you in the second what type of emotional faggot Clips complicated on his Facebook status. Which gets quite a lot of laughs. Also, similar to the sort of hate yawning line, he has a line that's a bit of a sleeper and then gets a huge reaction. Softer than a blind guy at a nude beach.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was simple.
Yeah,
it was effective. Like, it got a laugh. It got a laugh from me. Not that I showed it on cam. Do you know what I mean?
No. But yeah. I think everyone sort of bubbles up. And this is him again. Ain't Shakespeare when I drop a foul. He says it's like it's kind of that. It's a bit of a reach. I like what he's saying. But it's just kind of like, it's kind of interesting. And then he sort of does this sort of Al Bundy line and stuff like that. And in your second, I mean, you say you're not going to spend long on it, but you kind of had to address the whole My versus Quill situation, right?
Oh man, she fucking left Earth. Like, I've got a lot of respect for that girl for the way she writes, the way she raps. Like, but yeah, in that situation, like, she was unreal. And I just remember looking at it unfold, thinking, like, you're just alienating your entire fan base before you get on the plane. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. But Yeah, I had to adjust. If I hadn't, I mean, I even said it in the bar, didn't I? I said if I don't mention it, they're going to question my credibility. Like, it's got to be done. It's got to be done.
Yeah. And you basically, you kind of like. I mean, some people could have done a whole round on it, sort of thing. Like, that's fine. But I think in one line, you succinctly hit the nail on the head. She needs to change her name to Chernobyl because there's an attraction. But after that meltdown, no one wants to go there.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Like, Shuffle T come up to me after the battle and he said that bar is incredible.
Yeah.
And I was like, it was just. The thing with me is, you'll notice that I've always said this before, like I have tropes in my writing where if there's an angle that's been done to death, I don't want to do it. Like no matter how much I think I could do the angle better than it's been done, it's just boring. And I said in the first round, I'm not going to spend all this time talking about your wife because that's what everyone does. And then, I made reference to the fact that it shows that how little he's got in his life that all they rap about is his wife. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I had to address that, so that's why I was like, let me just wrap it up. If I can say something in 4 bars, why spend 16 saying it?
No, completely, man. And you touch on opponents that were maybe thought of for Sheffield or something. You say Sense and Archangel stopped them to come into town. Sensor and Arc, were they potential for you, or?
They were, yeah, they were mentioned. I don't even know if I'll get in trouble for saying this, but who gives a shit?
Yeah.
I'm having a title match now. They can't go back in it now. They were talking to Censor, but Censor just sort of stopped replying to messages, which is cool. And Arc, the sad thing is, I said the bar at the time because they offered me to Arc, and Arc was like, I only want internationals now.
Right.
Because he just done the Cortez battle.
Sure.
And, he's battled a lot of people that don't get big views. Like, he deserves to have some big names. But since then, me and Arc have, become really close. Like, we talk really often. So it's like, I kind of look back on it now and wish I hadn't said it, but
Well, I mean, if that battle went down in the near future, that could be a brilliant battle. You versus Arc.
It would, but he's already said he won't battle me. Full stop.
Oh man, yeah. Okay, I guess that, yeah, it's fair enough. But
the thing is, you got to get the way certain people write differently, didn't they? I'm really good friends with Tony, but I was in my bag for that, because I understand the difference. I can separate it, but not everybody's like that. Some people have really got to get in their bag and feel a certain way towards you to be able to write. And Ark's already said he's got nothing nasty to say to me, so why bother?
I mean, the whole second round against Johnny to me is just so watchable. So many good lines in this, like non-stop, really. Even, Johnny flips, which are quite easy to do, are still really good. Get rid of Johnny to prove I ain't fucking around.
Yeah. Do you know what? Every time I see that bar, I cringe.
I know it. Yeah.
It was so simple, but again, that's back to my thesis of why spend 16 bars dragging something out. It's a one shot, and I can't just constantly. This was again Ambi. I always talk to Ambi a lot. Me and him are really good friends, but he was like, "Your problem is that you speak, you go into too much detail constantly. So much goes over heads because you don't just punch. You want to break it down 15 times, and he's like, sometimes you've just got to have those simple lines in the building that just get a laugh, get a reaction, then you move on, and it keeps it interesting. It's not all about the YouTube watchers, it's for the people in the building too. So bars like that, to me, it seems silly to spit it, but it got a reaction, didn't it?
Yeah, massively. And touching on Quill was only going to battle my verse because they couldn't get Shine in, so here's Johnny.
Yeah, I like that bar.
That's amazing. Brilliant bar. And the whole wishing well, either sit in cells or dump coppers in the water, wishing well. That's
probably my most quoted bar from people. That was just, I've got this ability to write really fucking nasty punchlines. I don't know. I liked it. It was. I've addressed it in a few battles. I'm not a gangster, but I do live on the wrong side of the line most of the time, and I'd like to get out of that. Do you know what I mean? But when I see, it wrote itself. I saw the song, and they was just, like I said, talking about being top shotters, and I was like, this life is shit. Why are you trying to glorify it, man? Get the fuck out.
Yeah, and I'm not claiming to have any parity to you writing wise, but I did write a similar bar quite a few years ago with copper play, but mine was find coppers underground with a metal detector.
Oh, that's sick.
Same sort of thing.
Let's fucking go, Tom. Let's go, right?
I remember you saying that, and I was like, oh, obviously I prefer the Wishing Well. I think the Wishing Well one's better because Wishing Well, sit in cells, just the whole kind of image there is really, really good. And I mean, we could go through line for line here, but really the end of the second that I like, almost a throwaway, but really nice. Wreck your dentures, Pez dispenser. You want to get sweet? I'll flip your head back.
Pez dispenser bar's been done, but I like that bar. The funny thing is that wasn't my last bar. You'll see it. I spat the bar, and then I sort of looked at the sky for a second. I go, time. And I had another bar after that I'd forgot at that moment, but I'd learned from the loose cipher battle and just called time instantly, and no one noticed. So I've got away with it all this time. I can't remember what the bar was now, but it was something it was a generic bar about the plug, because we was in the venue, weren't we? The venue was called the plug.
Right, yeah.
It was something about, his product being shit and needing to fly halfway around the world to come to the plug. Like, yeah. Probably good that I ended it where I did, to be honest.
Incredible. and the third is equally brilliant. And I mean, every battler reads the comments, and the comments idolize you. Like, have you read the comments to your Johnny Storm battle? Every single one is just raving about it, man. It must feel great reading those.
Do you know what it does? It does. Like, I'm not a narcissist, but it's nice to read these things sometimes and think, oh, like, people appreciate what they. I'm not in this for the money. I've proven that time and again. Like, I do it because I just love the sport. I love the culture. I love being a part of it. I love the feeling of battling. That's the main reason I do this. And to read the comments like that is incredible.
And I mean, afterwards, what was the event like? Were you hanging out with Johnny? Was it just more of a party atmosphere, or?
It was, to be honest with you, I was just hanging out with Tony, because I went up there with. I always drive. I'm always a designated driver, right. And I was like, I'm gonna fucking not drive this time. Tony's gonna drive. It was me, Locke, and Tony in the car, and I was like, "You can drive, bro." And he was like, "Sweet." So I just sat in the back of the motor. We were bumping Biggie and West Side Gun, just flying up the motorway to Sheffield. And then when we got there, I was like, "Yeah, I can do the battle," and then get on the wave. And I was so ill, bro. I just continued drinking water. It was pointless. I might as well have driven. It was absolutely pointless. And then that was the event. Listen, my missus baked a whole bunch of these like Terry's chocolate orange cookies.
Right.
So many of them. And there was too many for a family to eat. So she was like, "Oh, look, bag these up and take them up there for your battle rap friends." And I was like, "Cool." So I did. And then after the event, I remembered that Tim was in the car, and I was like, "Hey, everyone, have a cookie." I'm just, you know me, I'm a nice guy. Have a cookie. And then I birthed fucking Tony's second round, didn't I? Bastard.
Just the image of you with all these cookies, it's just...
Oh, mate, it's real. And it didn't help that the old English battle, obviously, it was around my birthday, and someone on Twitter jokingly said, "You better bring cake." And that's when I turned up with 2 slabs of chocolate cake. Right. For everyone, birthday cakes. And I've just got this reputation now as bringing cakes and pastries to events, which is, yeah.
I mean, kind of warranted, but I mean, I mean, look,
I feel like I'm not going to argue. I do bring cookies and cakes to events, but look, who doesn't like cookie and cake? Fuck you.
Yeah, fair. So we'll get to the next battle, because obviously after this, more and more fans are growing. Everyone is aware of the sort of performances that you're putting out there. The Coma battle, this came about, am I right, because you were kind of mutual fans of each other? Yeah,
me and him were talking online quite a bit, and I thought he was really underrated. I watched him versus Frack, and obviously the gas in that battle for Frack was unbelievable. But when you actually break down what Coma was saying, his imagery really spoke to me. And me and him were talking for a while, and that Checkpoint 3, they were actually looking to book me and Younan.
Right.
So it would have been me and Younan, and 100 Bullets would have got somebody else. But I wanted to, my name was rising at that point, and like I've always said, I'm not interested in taking a battle that's going to give me huge views. I want to battle for someone that I want to battle. And at that time, I wanted to battle Coma. I wanted to give him a leg up, get him a new fan base. So yeah, I told the staff that I'd park Younan for another time, and I'll take Coma.
And this was the first a cappella battle in the actual venue, is that right? You were kind of kicking it off in there.
It was, yeah. Like the way it was put to me was, you versus Younan will be a ticket seller. If you take Coma, you're opening the card.
Right. Okay.
So I was like, cool. Like, I'm not being held to ransom by anyone. So I was like, yeah, sweet. I'll open the card. I don't give a shit. That the letter bomb bar that I had in there was originally, I was supposed to have a little piece in there about opening the cards, which made it hit harder. I forgot that when I was spitting it. I got caught up in the moment.
Yeah, this was another great showcase for you. I mean, Coma, I get what you're saying about the imagery and stuff. It didn't quite hit as hard with the crowd. I think his third was quite strong, but it was quite slept on, wasn't it, by a lot of people?
Oh, do you know what? The whole battle was slept on.
Yeah.
In the building, I felt so annoyed because I thought some of my best haymakers are in that battle. I wrote some really intricate shit, and if you listen to my first round, I really stepped up the rapping element. Like, it's probably one of my favorite rounds I spat. But the whole battle didn't get much reaction in the venue. I think a lot of people were sleepy at that point.
Yeah, and I mean, Coma kicks it off sort of, with a rise, sort of Buckingham Palace, Princess Di, sort of, everyone sort of needs to play that cliche, don't they, to a certain extent. Yeah. We get a mounting scheme to sum it up. This is where it gets peaks. That's where it gets peak for you.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I mean. A lot of his stuff slept on because people are waiting for the haymaker, and it's like, are you listening to the build-up? The build-up's got about 8 layers to it. Like, it's really... He's a very, very good writer. He was talking. Yeah, I can't remember what round it was. He was talking about Sodom and, not that looking back at my city made me salty. Like, really, really, really good stuff if you get the references he's talking about. If you get the reference.
No. Your neighbours can catch a stray like Animal Control.
Oh, that was brilliant.
Yeah. Really good.
Brilliant.
Really good. You'll be patting your chest like a Don't Flop fan.
Yeah, that was genius.
And you ditch you say no slogan for Coma. Is the slogan an albatross to you, or is it just you sort of taking it off for that battle or that round? Or
can I be honest with you, right? It's what I'm known for.
Yeah.
But I've not said it in so long because in the battles that I've had, like against Old English, I was like, fuck a slogan, I'm going straight in. Do you know what I mean? And I said it and I did it. And then Johnny Storm, I dropped the slogan because I felt like it was going to get peak for him. But then... Every battle since then, like against Coma, there was a reason that I didn't want to say the slogan. It was like, no, this got peaked for you the minute you asked for it. Like, so I was like, all right, get rid of it there. And then every opponent since Coma, I just felt like it wasn't relevant to them. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm not going to stand there and tell Tony D or Soul that this is where it gets peaked because everyone fucking knows I ain't getting peaked for them. Right. Like they can very much hold their own with me. So yeah, I might use it again. I mean, I've agreed to battle the top 8 winner, so it's definitely getting fucking used then, isn't it?
It's getting peak for Jace, I think. Yeah, definitely.
Can you imagine that? Imagine I've been Soul and I've got to battle Jace.
I know, that'd be good. That'd be incredible. So we get no slogan for Coma. Gassed match. We've kind of heard a lot of this sort of, match wordplay, but I love the follow up, igniting something beyond your control like an arsonist.
Yeah. Well, it's the imagery, isn't it?
Yeah.
An arsonist doesn't light a fire and then go, right, that's going to burn at a right angle into that field there. Like, it just goes where it goes, doesn't it?
Yeah. And you talk of Coma's a criminal psychiatrist, is that right?
He is, yeah. He works in a prison.
All right, cool, yeah. And you talk about the similar between his job and your sort of, what you're trying to do here. Both end a man's pain when you the pen, isn't it? Both end a man's pain when you push inside his brain.
I know. Yeah, when I was talking about a knife, I was saying both end a man's pain when you push inside of his brain. Again, I write some sick shit.
Yeah. Love that stuff. You talk about how weird it is that because he'd sort of paid for the battle, is that right? He sort of came over.
He paid for his own flights and whatever. And I think he thought at this point he saw me as a rising star and thought that he was going to come over here and body me, and it was going to undo all of the shit from the frack battle and off he'd go. Do you know what I mean? I don't think it worked out that way. He was a bit disappointed with the way it all went and the fact that the crowd slept on him so much. I think he expected to come over here and sort of put the punchliner to bed, and it didn't work.
Yeah. I mean, he's doing okay recently. I think he battled Excel recently, didn't he?
He did. Have you watched it?
I haven't actually seen it, but I've heard that he did. I've heard that he beat Excel.
Oh, it was man. His material was fucking brilliant. There's a lot of haters in the comments, but he was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Leaving breathing through a machine to teach Coma patience.
Yeah, Lou Cypher tweeted that bar. He was like, I can't remember what he said. Along the lines of "fuck you, Shox." So.
And the theme is of this round him kind of eating off your fame and renowned. I loved one of the final lines. You followed the star, then travelled far to son of God, but you ain't welcome here. I'm the innkeeper.
Yeah. I didn't know if that would go over or not, to be honest.
No, A-Ward loved that bar, I'm sure, but that was a seriously good bar from you, and then in the second as well, touching on at the time making a murderer was at its highest kind of hype. Who the fuck convinced Stephen Avery could beef on stage with me?
Yeah, it was just one of those throwaway multis, but he looked so much like Stephen Avery. I was like, I've got to do it.
Oh man, and just countless stuff, like really the vicious stuff that we're touching on. When it's on, then it's on. There's no backing out. I'll start using your fucking head as a football. The difference is I'll come to I'll come to in the front with a crippled leg driving. You'll come to in the trunk like he's hit his head diving.
Yeah.
just the idea of you murdering him and then sort of like becoming conscious in your car driving, like it's menacing.
Yeah, I do. I can't help it. When I write, I get into this zone of just absolute brutal shit. You know, I'm unapologetic about that as well. People are saying to me, "Oh, how you switching it up for soul?" And I'm like, "I'm me, man. You're gonna get a lot of nasty shit in that battle."
And I mean, you always sort of seem to kill it with my verse bars here. With your second my verse reference in battling, you Yanks give your name to your gun, so your punches have full clout, and then it takes fine skill, so I call mine quill because it beat clips, and for a Yank bitch, you don't even need a reason to pull out. Yeah,
that was again. It was just everyone was still talking about it at the time, so I thought, reference. That's one of my downfalls that I've picked up on and since rectified. Is I do a lot of in jokes, so people that don't understand the situation wouldn't get that bar.
Right?
But,
yeah.
You know, people that or the viewpoint massive, shall we say? They got that bar.
Yeah. We did. We loved it. But I mean, another great battle. I appreciate that maybe you were a little, wasn't as appreciative of the crowd themselves or the way that he came out, and it hasn't got necessarily the most views. It's got about 19K at the moment. But I mean, fair to say, Shox, you're kind of underviewed?
Oh, massively, yeah. I don't... it's weird. I feel that I'm one of the highest rated, especially by other battlers.
Yeah.
Other battlers seem to really rate what I do, but the fans don't get behind it as much. But, it will change. I'm sure it will change. Me and Tony's, gonna hit 100K, 100%.
Yeah, it's at 76 at the moment, and that's it's not been too long since that. So yeah, that'll definitely go down. At Checkpoint 3, the most memorable battle from there. No, I'm not talking about Copyright versus Tenshu.
Oh dear.
Yeah, what was that? No, I'm talking about obviously Soul's incredible, career-defining to a certain extent performance against Raptor. You're obviously going up against Soul. We'll get to the Soul battle towards the end of this episode. But I mean, were you watching that? Did you see that live?
I didn't. Do you know what? I that day I wasn't happy, if I'm quite honest, with the way that it went. So I didn't stick around. I left and I went home and spent some time on my sons, to be honest. Yeah. Played a bit of PlayStation, chilled out. I'm not into. People know this already. I'm not really into the scene in the sense that I go out to the parties and hang out at Nando's afterwards.
Right.
I love battle rap, but I don't. I'm a very guarded person, and it takes a lot to get into the circle with me. And I don't tend to just hang out with people for the sake of it. So I went home. I'm sure I'm going to have to after this Checkpoint 4 battle. But
well, yeah. I mean, victory drinks, surely.
Ooh, controversial, Tom.
But yeah, I mean, obviously you know that, seen it, and you know it. And the reason I also bring it up is, of course, because your next opponent was Raptor. The contextual idea of kind of being Raptor's next battle after the Soul battle. I have mentioned before, I don't know if you're aware of this, Raptor's actual next battle was against Innuendo, a freestyle battle at the April Fool's event. That was released on the pay-per-view and was actually really funny, and Innuendo makes a lot of references to the Soul Clash, but was never released on YouTube. And myself and a few people have spoken about this, and we've kind of agreed that it's because there's a lot of cocaine references in there. And
I watched it on the pay-per-view.
Yeah, but it never came out.
No. Which is a shame because it was hilarious to watch.
It was really funny. It was really good. Yeah. But,
Innuendo's a really good freestyler.
No, definitely. That was. I mean, great shame that didn't go down. But you and Raptor did go down. A one rounder. Was this your preferred mode or?
I don't do a lot of one rounders, but I do enjoy them. A lot of fans feel like they're getting robbed of material, but I mean, the round ended up being about fucking 8 minutes long. You didn't miss anything. Do you know what I mean? It was 3 rounds crammed into one long round, but it is fun because you feel like you can just really stretch your legs and just keep the crowd in the palm of your hand for the whole thing. Do you know what I mean? The only thing that you miss out on is the chance to rebuttal, but I'm not known for rebuttals, to be quite honest with you. So
yes. So I mean, you're happier to go first in these situations, or?
More times you'll notice most of my battles I offer to go first, to be honest. Sometimes I'll wait for the flip. If I know that my material is really good and I've got it locked inside out, then I'll go for the flip, and whatever happens, happens. You know, it might be a chance to rebuttal, but most of the time I'll ask to go first because I just love to come out the gate swinging and, you know, put people on the back foot.
And I mean, I'm sure most people will agree. This is some of your best material to date at this point. I think the entire round is immaculate. You know, you start off by quoting the graveyard idea. Ironic because the plot had so many holes in it.
Yeah.
That's just like a gift, isn't it? Something like that. Like,
yeah, the whole thing, like, you know, Soul going into the ring thing as well. Like that sort of wrote itself off the back of that, and I thought there's just so many ways that I can make that apply. And yeah, he's always talking about the graveyard, so I thought, yeah, fuck it.
And a lot of stuff on, you know, Raptor's addictions to a certain extent. 127 weeks. That rock's still holding you up.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Ironic you never spit that heat when there's blow on stage.
Criminally slept on.
Yeah, major. No, I had Mark Beattie on. We did our top 5 Shox the Rebel rounds. A few.
I did listen to it.
you had to, right? I mean,
I did. Yeah, I'm saying I'm not a narcissist, but I did listen to it.
No. When they eventually do top 5 soliloquy rounds, I'm gonna have to listen to that. So, you know, no, I had to explain that bar to him because I sort of had a feeling that he just wouldn't know it. And obviously referencing Spit That Heat, which was kind of the dominant Southern League before Bullpen kind of got involved. And I don't know if you've heard about Blow. Actually, he's quite a controversial figure. You have to pay to battle on the league. And if you don't pay, some guy didn't pay, and he changed his name to $100 on the video, and that's just what he's called. It's like $100 versus Chef Trez or whatever like that. So it's pretty embarrassing. But yeah, that bar was incredible. And you sort of talk about how this battle should have almost been bigger, but because of his downfall, it wasn't. You should have been my bragging right, but your appetite for smack at night got you looking for excuses, but you find none. Your habit is black and white.
Again, slept on, but. Yeah, I love that bar.
I love that bar. I've got to be honest with you. The only reason I know that a habit is a nun's thing is because I remember like a crossword clue years ago and I had to look it up and I was like, oh, that's what it's called. I mean, that's a pretty obscure reference, Shox, to be fair.
I'm old, Tom.
Yeah.
You know, we no one talks about my age, but I'm into my 30s, mate. I can right. I watched Sister Act when I was a kid, all right?
Aisle cut through his middle as well. This chapel, like,
just chapel get altered before you meet with Christ. Yeah.
And then, you know, what I love a lot about your writing in Shox, like we mentioned the gas match thing before, and Lion King bars, like, you know.
Listen, right. So the Lion King thing. I'm glad I get a chance to address this. That has been done to death.
Sure.
My thing in this battle was I'm going to take something that has been done to death and I'm going to do it to the very limit it can be done so that it won't be done again. Yeah. And, you know, the Lion King has been done. And I say that and I get a reaction for it. And I was so annoyed. You see it in my face. Like, why have you reacted to this shit part of the bar? Like, let me do the whole thing about, you know, watch your brother fall. Like what I heard beneath you. The herd of wildebeest. Like I was trying to, the whole thing, and then, you know, man, what a cliffhanger. I thought no one's doing it better than that. I've wrapped it up. But you even hear Raptor go, oh, that's played, when they're all reacting. And I'm holding my finger up to him like, wait a minute, you lot shut the fuck up. Let me finish this part. Like, I regret doing it now. When I watch it back, like, you know, it got a reaction, but I regret saying it because my intention wasn't clear in the bar and it just sounds like a played out concept. I
get what you're saying, but what I heard beneath you, like, that is just, I don't know, like the thought in that, I just think it's fantastic. And like when you did do the Lion King, because I think I remember Chiller against Prep does like a Disney scheme, and he's like, "Stop Lion King," and like, you know, Don DeMarco. It's like, oh my god, it's just like, you know.
Oh, was that the one when he done the Pocahontas?
Yeah, Ratatouille.
Ratatouille. Like, fuck, you know. Yeah, when Tony pulled him on that, I thought, yes, fucking talk.
Yeah. Grip Blade and Ride on Cat on my He-Man shit.
Oh, I love that bar.
Yep. Fire. The clip scary Jim Carrey. Want to put on the mask on something else. I mean, Raptor gives big props for that one.
Do you know what? I wrote that bar having never seen Hollow the Don versus Big T at this point. Right. And afterwards, everyone was like, oh, that's a Chiller, that's a Hollow bar. And I was like, what? So I went back and watched the battle, literally on my phone outside the venue afterwards. And I got to the bar, and he's, you know, it's not exactly the same, but he's like, oh, you know, Jim Carrey, I'm something else with a mask on or whatever. And I was like, oh, Man, that's probably my biggest reaction in that. And one of the bars I was most proud of. But you know, I can't watch every battle ever and memorize all the bars. Like, it's impossible.
No, yeah, of course. You touch on the sort of domestic angle. You say that you've been pushing on bitches for 12 battles straight. But then you hear Koj shout, "Except me."
Yeah. He was so wildly drunk that day.
Right.
Bruv, outside. Listen, him and Jay Short were meant to be battling. I don't know if everyone remembers this, but the whole event got moved a day earlier.
Yeah.
But before it got moved, Koj had booked a battle in Glasgow, I think it was.
Yeah, Iron Bars, wasn't it?
Yeah, and he was supposed to be travelling down. And, you don't go to Scotland and have a calm weekend. No. It doesn't happen. You go there and they put a funnel in your mouth and pour whiskey in it, right? Like, you're getting waved. Yeah. And he came, he had to travel down pretty much the same night. I don't even think he'd slept. And he calmed down. He was absolutely fucked. Like, Jay Short was paralytic at this point. And I was like, oh my God. And I ended up I can't remember. I think I went and got a McDonald's for Jay Short or something to try and sober him up a bit. And I was sitting and chatting to Koj and I was like, look, you got to sober up, man. I just kept giving him bottles of water. Like, just drink some water. You'll be fine. I mean, the battle went down as messy as it goes, to be quite honest. But yeah, he was really in his bag. So on stage, him, who was the other one? Templar. I taught him everything he knows.
Right, yeah. Oh man. And excellent stuff throughout. Chance of survival gets narrow. My first real test, so I'm going to cut flesh and bone to the wet marrow. Get wrapped head to toe like a dead pharaoh. Pass with flying colours like a red arrow. Like that final bar, like that's one of those real simple, almost B Magic. Obviously B Magic probably wouldn't talk about red arrows, but you know what I mean? Like it just, it just like seamless. Like, there's nothing on that bar. Like it's just fantastic. And probably your most famous section from the battle, Shox, is the coffee scheme,
which was said so tongue in cheek.
Right.
And yeah, so you see the comments. Some people are like, "Oh, that's corny," and some people are like, "That's incredible." But it was just. It was meant to be. That's why I stopped. You probably wonder why I'm spitting a coffee scheme, like reminding you all that I've been grinding. It was just, man, the reaction I got for that was insane. The build. I remember Ryan Morgan was doing updates for battlerapresume, and there was this one singular tweet in between all the tweets where he's quoting my lyrics, and he just said, "My laptop just fell off the table from the reaction," and that was the coffee scheme.
The cost of being a boss, etc.
Yeah, when it's Starbucks, like it was all tongue in cheek. It wasn't, if anyone listens to that and thinks I'm spitting, hang on 1 second.
Yeah, that's all right.
My son's having a waffle.
No, it's all good.
Oh, good, right? Yeah,
I mean, coffee scheming. I'm trying to think. Do you say cappuccino? Do you say cappuccino in there?
I don't. What do I say? A couple leave this fiend dying. A couple. Yeah, fuck yeah. Jeez. But the Starbucks Costa, bean grinding. Why not? Eh?
Yeah, exactly.
Gotta have some fun somewhere, innit? It's not all I'm going to stab you.
Yeah. And then you sort of you took your punch count in this round, which means that evidently is incredible. And then you get quite seriously and you say take a break from this shit and get your fucking life together. Like you speak to him man to man, like. Yeah.
Like it was that all led on from the Sons of Anarchy bars, which I thought that was quite slept on as well. But I like Raptor. I mean, me and Raptor get on really well. Yeah. But at the time, he was just. I remember seeing him at checkpoint 3, and he was. I'm sorry, I'm nudging the table. It's probably really loud on the microphone.
No, sorry.
He, outside checkpoint 3, when he was going over his bars for Soul, and he was just so agitated, and he'd been up all night, and he kept changing the bars, and he was, we were probably an hour away from him doing the title match at this point, and he hadn't got it locked. And I just remember standing there thinking, "Fuck, man! Like you're so talented. Like really, Raptor is an incredible writer.
Oh yeah.
Another one with the imagery, the way that he talks about real life and mixes it in with the punches and whatever. Like, and I just felt at the time like just take a break. I meant it when I said it. I meant it. Like just take a break and sort yourself out. Do you know what I mean?
And it's still a good round. It's a little spotty in places and not as cohesive as yours. There's still some excellent material. Let off steam in the heat of things like Evaporation.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I like that. You front big, but don't back it up like a penny farthing.
Yeah,
that was one of those bars. I was like, what? I was like, that's great.
That was amazing. That was like, and that's so left field as well. That's one of my punches. Like,
Yeah.
He said it, and I thought, oh, that's fucking fire. That's good. I like that.
Shox at revival like a defibrillator.
Yeah.
I mean, what did you think of Raptor's round for this?
I loved it. I loved it. He had a couple of clangers in there. The one reeled like a pencil case. Right. I didn't like that. And what's the one about the hospital gown jumping out?
Yeah, I can't quite recall, but yeah, it was.
Yeah, jumping out of a wardrobe, leave me in a wardrobe or something like.
Yeah.
Like, but apart from that, I rate the way that he started the round. And the way he built, I love his cadence, the way he builds up passion. The only downfall with that is that the audio on the video wasn't great. In the venue, it was good, but you couldn't really hear him at the beginning of his round. But he was like really being quite sincere in what he was saying.
No, it is a shame really, because obviously the writing quality is huge, but it does have that kind of boomy kind of. I don't know. I kind of almost wish it was in a pit, to just give it a bit more of an essence. But yeah.
Well, I was hoping it was a pit. When I got there, I was like, oh. Another fucking stage battle. I hate stage battles.
Yeah. No, I know. But your next battle was in a pit. This is, being touted as one of the best Don't Flop battles ever. You don't need me to tell you this. I'm sure everyone who's listening has seen this multiple times. You versus Tony.
My favourite battle that I've been in by a long stretch.
Oh my god, this battle is fucking incredible. Like, I mean, says at the start of the battle that it all came from a Facebook post saying I miss battling in a small room. Is that kind of the initial impetus of it? Yeah,
literally, Tony wrote that, and I hit him up with just the eyes emoji, like screenshotted the status, and then put the eye emoji and whatever, and he sent that. Like I said, me and him get on really well, and he sent back, he was like, "I want no part of you," like LOL.
Yeah,
and we was laughing about it, and then all of a sudden, like we're in a group message on Twitter, I think it was, with me, Tony, and Danny Jack, and Danny Jack's like, "So, can we make this happen?" And I was like, yeah, I'm up for it. Do you know what I mean? And then Tony took a while to reply. Then he sort of come back and he was like, yeah, fuck it. And I thought, wait, this is about to be crazy. Yeah, man.
And of course, this was, not only yourselves as a huge battle, it was a huge event, wasn't it? Inaugural next in line event.
Mate, everything about that event was incredible.
Oh, it was I was there. Like, it was an incredible. Like, all the battles were so good. I'm thinking Scoop v Wheelsy, Lazy Ass Jack versus A, obviously Gem versus Tox, and JB and J Short obviously occurred after you because it's like time delays and stuff like that. But battling there in Fiddlers, is that kind of your preferred environment, or?
It's my favourite venue, like by a country mile. I love it. Like, it's just. There's the whole feeling of it. I love all being packed in. It's tight. Like, you literally hear the clink of the glasses in the background while they're cleaning up. Like, I love it. It's intimate, but you feed off the energy. I mean, when I started my first round against Tony, the energy in the room was just unbelievable. Like, literally, it was like a battery in my back. It was crazy.
Yeah. I remember standing on the sofa. Sort of, everyone was there, and I'm not. This sounds like hyperbole, but it felt like a World Cup final. Or something
it was insane. It was like the atmosphere. Everyone was hyped before you even open your mouth. It was crazy. It was just, you could feel it in the air. It was like an electric buzz. It was ridiculous, and everyone was on their best behaviour. But it was literally, you were looking around and there was people standing on windowsills just to, like. I don't think they could have fit another person in the venue, to be quite honest. Crazy.
Yeah, I mean, a long way away from where you were with Smart Alex, right?
Oh god,
like, same. No, but just
you put me through the ringer with that already. Don't mention it again.
I was saying recently, actually, to Lazy Ass Jack, we both love turn S&M into an R. Alex, still love that bar, man. Still love that. Still love that name flip.
That was. I think that showed my true nature from the beginning, didn't it? I'm gonna try and break words down and make new meanings if I can.
It did, but I mean, it's incredible that effectively 2 years pass from that tryout against Smart Alex, and here you are against Tony. And what is the writing process any different because it's Tony, or is it the same sort of method?
No, do you know what? My writing method has never changed. I just, like I said, it comes to me and I write it down. More times, what I'll do is just keep writing, and then at the end of it, I'll sit down and I'll go, right, I've got enough material here for 4 rounds, so let's chop it down to 3, and then I'll just structure it. It's very easy for me to put things together. I know certain people say that they make lists or they've got particular angles. That's probably my biggest weakness is that I'm chaotic. But my life is chaotic, my mind is chaotic, and I'm not going to force myself to be something I'm not and sit here and go, right, here's a list of angles I want. I'm going to spend 16 bars on this and 8 bars on that. I just write, and it comes out, and it's there, and I'm spitting it. And it's done me all right so far, hasn't it?
Oh god! Oh hell yeah, yeah. So as we say, introduces us talking about the Facebook post. Large up Facebook, roars can be heard shouting, and then sort of larges up every social media outlet you could imagine. Sort of going through there. Cool to see G-Dash at the front as well. WRC legend there.
Oh man, I'm literally standing there at the time thinking, oh rah,
yeah,
he's judging as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Like he didn't even really know or was too tough at that point either. Like, you know, he knows Tony's history and whatever. And,
yeah.
But yeah, man, it was great to have him in the building.
Yeah, and I mean, says as well that G-Dash was the first guy to racially abuse him on camera. So that's a nice intro for sure. Obviously, G-Dash is for those not listening, massive legend. He battled and Archaic in the WRCs. King George, I think off the top of my head, was his partner there. But we'll get into this and. As you say, the anticipation was electric at this point, you know, and I love the fact that you say the legend goes, like that's the first thing that you say, and you're kind of putting it into this mythic paradigm, because that really is what it is, and sort of Tony's great slogan, if I spit 3 rounds, I don't lose, if I spit 1, you won't move, like, I mean, just brilliant, a brilliant way to kick it off.
Yeah, I thought it's... The one thing I would say, prepping for Tony, was I knew that I had to come out the gate immediately. Like, by this point in the whole build up to this, everyone's just talking about me as a punchline rapper, and you know, I'm not sad with that. I am a punchline rapper. I'm proud of it. But like, I thought I've got a punch from the gate, and I thought, what is the shortest possible amount of words I can spit before a punch, and that was it. That was it, and I mean, the reaction, you see Danny Jack literally have some sort of seizure at that moment, and the whole building, it was deafening, and I thought, fuck. I even say, let me rap. Like, I ain't even started. I've not even started. Let me rap. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, that was an incredible feeling.
Yeah. I mean, I say you barely get a single word out, and the reaction is intense. I'm not a fan of Dragon Ball Z. I just never really watched it myself. But I love Goku out of the world with these punches. Yeah.
Do you know what? I don't watch Dragon Ball Z.
No.
I'm very aware of it.
Yeah, me too.
Partly because 85% of battlers spit bars about Dragon Ball Z.
True.
But, you know, the one thing I do know about Dragon Ball Z is there's a character called Goku, and, you know, he comes out of the atmosphere and has fucking fights in space and shit, and I'm like, out of this world with the punches. It was simple. So I thought, yeah, fuck it.
No, it's strong. And I love this about you. I always mentioned your bar against Cracker, the right move bar, and how you made a bar about a housing website hard as fuck.
Librarian line, yeah.
Yeah, the librarian line. Once the date was stamped, only job left was to lower tone. Yeah,
well, it was... do you want to? I'll tell you. Go on. I'll tell you because it's you, Tom.
Right. Thank you.
My kids were watching Monsters Inc. Monsters University the day before, and there's a scene in that film where they're all in a library.
Yeah. And the librarian's like massive monster, isn't it? Like,
they got to stay silent, and I was like, oh yeah, she's got to keep the tone low, and then I was like lower tone, and then I was like, oh, they stamp dates. What else do they do? I thought, fuck it. So the bar came out of that. I told you the weirdest places, but yeah, that's how that one came about. I think you can hear Locksmith in the background after it all dies down going, wow.
I think he's a big Monsters University fan as well, Locksmith.
Oh, that's obviously, yeah. He strikes me as the type,
yeah. And I mean, possibly I'm going to say it's the best bar of the battle, the Indiana Jones bar.
I love that bar.
I mean,
that's when I wrote that, I was like, again, all of my biggest punches that people quote to me, when you actually say them or write them down, they're just fucking twisted, aren't they? Really, they are twisted. Like the dump the coppers in the water. Like it's all just about murder.
Yeah.
And and it, you know, I think the thing with me as well, the way that I delivered that bar, like the way that I said breaking your temple and I punched my hand so close to him at the time I did it, it just added to the intensity of it all, and it was It's one of my favourite bars I've spat for.
Yeah. Just for prosperity, kill him with the pros, or it's Indiana Jones, man, or break in your temple and use the whip to escape. The reaction to that bar is outstanding. Like, you know, and just seeing everyone freak out over it. It's just such an original kind of take on it. And absolutely love this.
I remember you approached me after the event, didn't you?
Yeah.
You literally came up to me and you was like, Shox, that Indiana Jones bar. I think you see Craft D in the background when I spat it, and he's just like, his shoulders just drop and he's just clapping really hard with a stank face, like.
Tony kicks off. You know, I really like the idea of him sort of being the final boss, so like the doorman for the title shot. Like that sort of idea. We get loads of Shox flips. We had the cable car thing from Johnny Storm. I love this. To protect what I built, I'll send Shox into the ground like lightning rods.
Crazy. But then that's Tony, you know. Like, Tony's one of those guys where if you actually listen between the reaction, he's still really saying some shit. Like, one of my favourite battlers ever. You know, one of my favourite people. But he's just, as a battler, he's incredible. I do feel like when I watch that battle back, like, I do feel slightly proud when you see the way Tony comes out. Because I know you normally see him come out real cocky, and I feel like the way that my first round was delivered, like, you see him, he was a bit unsure of himself in that first round, and I thought, even if I lose this, I'm proud of that.
And both of you are just so good at building out these genius little mini schemes. Tony does that in the first. Noose for you, neck on the line, just trying to hang with me, like twin lynching. That's gallows humor, and we're gonna swing till your limbs twitching.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah.
That is so good.
I'm a sucker for any wire bar, as we discussed in our past episode, and he kind of invokes Omar here. Come at the king, you best not miss. It is a really, really strong round from him, and a lot of people say this about Tony, but it is true, Shox. You say it in your second. He kind of looks like Hollow the Don.
No, he doesn't kind of look. He is Hollow the Don. Motherfucker, he is Hollow the Don, all right? And I like unless that battle gets set up and they're in the same place at the same time, I'm not having it. It's the same person.
Would that make a good battle, do you reckon, Tony versus Hollow?
No. Everyone's asked for it. Everyone says they want to see it, but when you actually break it down, no, I don't. I love Hollow the Don. I love Tony D. I don't think their styles are cohesive in the slightest. I don't think it makes for a good battle.
No. I get that, and I mean, this battle is a masterpiece. I fucking love it. Just so much good stuff here throughout. I love the whole set levels and put your back against the wall like a flat screen. Yeah,
simple one. That was again a punch on the way to a punch, but it was just. It made sense.
Yeah.
I'd literally the day I wrote that, I'd put a telly on the wall for.
I had a feeling.
The parents, do you know what I mean? My parents were like, "Can you put the telly on the wall?" I was like, "Yeah, sweet." Just put it on the wall. I was like, "It'll set levels, flat screen, back against the wall, lovely."
Yeah, and I guess if you wanted to you could do like a spirit line in there as well if you wanted to sort of branch out a bit more. But
that's my thing, innit? If you saw some of the punches unedited before they get to the battle, some of them are just it's too much. It's too much information. I don't need to go. Like, literally, that one had about spirit, burst your bubble. It was just too...
Right. Nice.
Completely... It was unnecessary. It just broke the flow up. So, no, get rid of that. Keep it sweet. You know?
And a great indicator of the quality of a battle is Ur's reactions. And has a huge reaction to this guile flip from the kick with his soldiers in the background.
Do you know what? I said... when I wrote that, I had a bit in it about, I don't care if he's a street fighter. To set it up. Yeah. And then I thought, no, fuck it. It drags it out too long. And I want, if you catch it, you catch it. If you don't, you don't. So I took out the Street Fighter reference and just, And obviously, you know, Er's got a habit in the Fiddlers of reacting to my bar when I'm on the next one and fucking my momentum up. You know, the lowercase G. But his reaction to that was amazing. I think, what was the other one you really liked in that? But this is for all those who said I was kidding to think I could son the goat. And he just took a swig of his drink. I was like, that's crazy. Another great second. Tony has awesome second as well. I love the flip. The whole Back to the Future, like Michael J. Fox. Did you hear me after it all died down? And I went, that was money. Like, that was that was crazy. That was bastard.
Total packages tick all the boxes like Nighttown.
Yep, crazy.
Boxes like night. That is, that is immaculate. And I mean, he does focus a lot in his second on the cakes, as we say, and bring pastries to battle events rather than being strapped with techs and that kind of.
It was brilliant. Yeah. But I was thinking, was it? I came for the cake Shox. You were thinking Great British Bake Off. Like, what do you say to that? I'm just, you see me just, and that's the thing, because we're such good friends as well. Like, I'm dying at this point. I'm like, you absolute bastard! Like, why have you done this to me? Like, I was expecting you to try and outbar me, not just completely clown me for the whole room, but safe. Cheers, Tone.
And there's a few constants in battle rap. Younan's always going to talk about dragons. Tony's always going to have an amazing third round.
His third round was a piss take.
Yeah.
Like, I remember watching it. At the end of the second, I thought to myself, this is debatable either way. Mm-hmm. But I knew my third round was my weakest round at that point. Mm-hmm. It wasn't bad, but it was the weakest round of my three. Just the way that it worked. And that's another one of my weaknesses. When I put things into rounds and I go over them, I have real, I don't know why, but OCD with the bars. I know people will swap their rounds around. Like when Luna battled O'Shea and swapped his second for his third because he couldn't remember it at the time. Like, I can't do that. To me, it's whether you see it as chaotic or not. There is a narrative there that I'm trying to stick to. And I ended the third with the Poisonous Poets thing, and ending it in a deep, meaningful way, like I did with Raptor. But I can't switch things around. And I thought to myself, he's known for his third rounds, and my third round is my weakest. Let's see if it holds up. And after the first two rounds, I thought, this is pretty even. I thought, I've definitely got the first. Yeah. And it's debatable who got the second. He took the joke route, but I had a lot of haymakers in the second. Mm-hmm. And I think it's going to be up to the fans who they think is winning at this point. So I thought, we're going into the third. We'll see how it goes. And the way he come out in the third, I was just looking at him like, you're a prick. Yeah,
yeah. I think that is the best way to measure it, really, round by round. I still think your third is good. It's just the structure's not quite as tight. I think it feels like there's strong lines. Tony Soprano, your cover's trash.
Yeah. Oh my
God,
Barroso. I like that bar. But
That's a good bar.
Maybe I wasn't a fan of the cover, but
Yeah.
everyone else seemed to like it, so maybe it's just me.
Yeah. Sweating over stairs like Rocky.
Yeah, simple.
Yeah.
Simple but effective.
Yeah, very, very, very effective. But yeah, Tony, he does the whole sort of worker scheme, cross the line, scab, pick off the cut.
Pick it off in the cut. That was, oh mate, yeah.
Dante with a pen. I'm describing your journey through hell.
That was one of my favourite bars ever spat against me. God. That was.
Aiming for paper, you the target at a gun range.
Yep. And his ending, amazing. I don't know. I saw that. I know online you asked fans, what questions they want to ask, and I know one of them was favourite bar that's ever been spat against me. I don't know if you intend to ask me that at the end, but it will be Tony's last bar in this round because it was phenomenal.
Is that the
Usual Suspects bar?
Oh yeah. That was crazy. I mean, just because there's just so many bars here. Even came out the shit intact like Sweet Corn.
Yeah, just so.
That's so simple, but
yeah. What can you do? What can you do? The reaction he got for that. I remember just looking at him thinking, you've literally just shut the room down with a bar about undigested sweet corn in your turd. Are you? You say I can do it with librarian and estate agents. My man's talking about sweet corn in his shit, and look at the reaction he got.
well, I mean, he does again. He references a historical inventor, the first to let it ring, Alexander Graham Bell. Yeah,
but you see, if you notice when he spits that bar, I look at him and I go, that's not true.
Oh, right.
Because he wasn't the first person to.
Right.
Yeah. I can't remember the name of the guy that did it. It was a black guy, but it wasn't Alexander Graham Bell. He stole the whole idea. But
right. Oh shit.
Yeah. Look it up. Okay. That's why I said that's not true. I think people took it as no, mate. I'll shoot you first. But no, I meant it in that way. But yeah, it's funny.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. There's the invention of the telephone. Yeah. So I'm just getting distracted now on Wikipedia, but I'm definitely going to check that out. So shout out this battle. And the battle, everyone had to leave the venue because we were constrained for time, so everyone sort of went outside to a little kind of thoroughfare they had around the corner, which is a very sort of like, it felt like a Mortal Kombat stage or something. It was just kind of like quite a nice little area there, and the judging comes through, and it was 5-2, was that right, to Tony? Am I thinking?
No, it was 5-0.
It was 5-0, that's right, that was 5-0, wasn't it? It was unanimous.
It was 5-0, and you literally, when they said it, it's a unanimous decision. Already, the crowd were like, ugh.
Yeah.
Like, and I thought to myself at that point, I thought, I've lost, because there's no way on earth I'm 5-0 in Tony D. Mm-hmm. But I think the crowd were like aware at that point, like whoever they announced at that point, it was unfair. Mm-hmm. That's what they felt. And then they announced it to Tony, and you know, congrats to Tony. Like I said, it was going to be debatable. It all came down to the second round. I clearly got the first. He clearly got the third. And the second was so tight, I wouldn't have wanted to judge it. But I don't think I could have judged it, to be quite honest, as a spectator. But yeah, when they said the unanimous, they announced it for Tony. Like, he was just like, he was smiling. There was a lot of in the crowd.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, you know, I think the problem is that people take 5-0 as a whitewash, and
sure.
all it means is that all five judges narrowly gave it to him. Like, if you watch the judging after the battle, they're like, I barely give it to Tony. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
So, but it was amazing. I'm just happy to be a part of it. I've never cared about wins or losses. I don't care about a record in that sense. It's just fun.
Yeah, no, I agree. And you say a lot of people are going, and I was one of them, actually. I remember I was doing a bit of tweeting for the event, and I tweeted that it was a bit of I can't remember exactly what I said, but I wasn't disdainful towards Tony, but I think I felt you won. And I remember you came up to me afterwards and you were saying, like, I caused like a storm online or something.
Oh, you got some backlash for that shit. You got some backlash there, Tom.
Oh man, but
don't you give opinions? Who do you
no,
think
exactly,
you are?
Exactly. It's called viewpoint, but still, you know.
Yeah, don't have a viewpoint.
But I mean, regardless, right? It's kind of like it almost doesn't matter because you both showed out magnificently. Like, it's a great testament to both of your talents.
Oh, it was amazing. It's so much replay value in it.
Yeah.
And,
oh my god.
It's one of those rare battles. Like, I don't know how other battlers feel, but every battle that I've done, there is a part of a particular round that I will turn off the battle when it gets to that part, because I don't like what I said. I don't know how I performed it or whatever. I'm very critical of my own shit, but that battle I can watch all the way through, all 6 rounds, and it's just fun. You can see the enjoyment on both our faces anyway, man. Like, we're getting the crowd to give it up for each other. Like, if the crowd are sleeping on a particular bar, like, it was a great thing to be a part of, and it felt kind of historic in a way, because it was like, it did feel a little bit like, you know, a passing of the baton in a way. Do you know what I mean? Because Tony's right in what he said. Like, he has lit up the path for me, and now I've got this title shot. So
yeah, and I mean, off the top of my head, I can't think of any battle 2016 UK versus UK that was better, as in 3 rounds for 3 rounds sort of thing. Like, you know, there's nothing, like, I think it was just gold, you know, all of them really. And talking about gold, Tony winning remember the gold rim hat that he wins at the end, the next in line fitted. Yeah,
which no one spoke about this, but on the back of the cap, they had the date printed, like, stitched in.
Right.
But the company that did it stitched in a date they made the hat, not the date of the event. The event was the 22nd of October, if I'm correct. And if you look at the back of his hat, it says 20th of October.
All right. There's some interesting trivia, and
there you go.
I mean, another thing that I want to ask about that I've been curious. You know, after the Tony battle, you still are red hot, but, you know, really red hot at that point. You were going to go against Hofer. Unfortunately, that didn't come about, though.
No, it didn't come about. Unfortunately, I can't really go into details.
No, of course, yeah.
Because it's not through any fault of my own.
Yeah.
But someone that is close to me got ill, and I had to sort of rearrange my plans last minute, which was a shame. The material that I had for Math Hofer was, I mean, if he was going to punch anyone again on camera, it was probably going to be me, to be quite honest. Because I got some really, I think the way I started it was, I was going to be really, really aggressive, get right in his face, and I was going to say, when it comes to getting emotional on stage, Math is comfy. All I know is after these 3 rounds, to leave here with your pride pussy, you're going to have to punch me. Like,
oh shit.
Yeah, it would have, you know, I was going to put him right uncomfortable from the jump. And I had a lot of shit, you know, like talking about fuck Murder Av and
wow.
put in, going in and in for the Cortez link, and put your essay in the air like the exam's finished. Like, bro, there was so much. I had so much fire for Math Hofer, but it just never saw the light of day.
Yeah, that's a shame. I mean, no inclination to do what you did with the Younan thing and just put the rounds out, or
no, I scrapped it. To be honest with you, I swapped phones and lost all the notes, so I couldn't even take bars were anyway.
Right. Fair enough. Yeah, it was.
What was it? There's one bar. It probably it would have got such a good reaction. I think I'll put it out on Twitter at some point, but it was the I'll ride with it. Have your life missing. The way to stop him being Curtis Jackson. Let's see him run New York with the yayo after the 9 hit him. Yeah, crazy. But never going to see the light of day now.
Yeah, it's a shame. Actually, I met Hofer. I was at the 8th birthday pre-party doing a few interviews and stuff. Had a great interview. Hopefully that's going to come out soon. And he actually recognised my voice because he had listened to our episode to do like background research on you. So that was quite cool. But I mean, nonetheless, Hofer and Dialect had a pretty tight one rounder. Actually, it was pretty.
It was a good battle, but I like watching it. One thing I noticed is he had a lot of bars that were from me.
Yeah.
That he'd reapplied to Dialect, and I remember watching it when he said like that. He said, I'll be like shh, and then split him with the ox, and he was like shh, ox. That's how you split Shox. And I remember looking at him thinking, if that's what you would have come with, I would have destroyed your fucking career. You dodged the bullet there, mate. I can't lie.
And talking about dodging bullets, very simply in the description for this video, you say you dodged a bullet. This is your bars for Younan. You were supposed to battle Younan on UKBL's second event. Massive shame this didn't go down. Obviously, you were saying it was checkpoint 3 originally, and then it got into UKBL. What happened here? Why didn't it go ahead?
Younan just pulled out.
Yeah,
Younan pulled out. I mean, he was going through, and still is going through some personal shit. I'm not going to air it.
No, of course.
In the slightest. But, he went through some really deep shit. And I don't blame him for having to pull out of the battle. But as everyone knows with me, I can't sit on bars for months at a time. I get bored of them. So I just put them out. Fuck it. It was, I think it was 1.5 rounds or whatever that I'd amalgamated into just one long round and then stuck it on YouTube so the fans had something. Because I was aware at this point that I probably, I think I knew, it hadn't been confirmed, but I knew I was going to be battling Soul at Checkpoint.
Right.
And I thought, my last battle was October. If he pulls out of this, my next battle is April. That's a long time for me to be out of action after the furore that the Tony battle caused. So I just wanted to give the fans something to listen to in the meantime.
Yeah, and everyone should obviously go check this video out on your YouTube channel. It's excellent, just you and your car. I mean, great stuff throughout, really. When I'm done now, the forensics tell the judge in 5-0 it was unanimous.
Yeah.
I should explain for the point of these bars as well. I guess Younan's girlfriend's called Ruby. Stockholm Syndrome, battered by a gem and fell in love with a ruby.
I love that bar.
Yeah,
I love that bar. I wasn't sure how many people would get that in the venue because Stockholm Syndrome's not. I said it to one of my boys and he looked at me and the Muse song, and I went, no, not the Muse song. No, don't, go and research it. Yeah. Honestly, why would I mention a Muse song? How random. But yeah.
More sort of interesting references you do. Who think he Palm and Long Nose, like Lee Harvey Oswald? I might Jack Ruby with a revolver for taking shots at an assassin.
Yeah, that's so layered, but
really good. Obviously, Jack Ruby was the guy who shot Lee Harvey, before he got testified and all that. Yeah.
With a revolver,
Yeah.
It was all just. Yeah, it all sort of fitted, but and that was another one that certain people I'd spit it to would be like, "Holy shit," and others would be like, "I don't get it." So I suppose you've got to know the history to know.
Yeah. And I mean, check out the video. All the bars there definitely worth watching. It's just a lot of just one lines that I love as well. Finally, get to set the record straight like a slip mat.
Yep, that was another little hidden gem in there.
And your future opponent Soul also had a crazy Shawshank bar against Real Deal, and you have the be Shawshank the page. When I broke out the pen, I was going through some shit.
Yeah, that hitting the pipe with a rock from Soul was Jesus.
So, I mean, let's get on to Soul, because it just got announced, the whole Checkpoint card, a brilliant card, so many good battles going down this, including UV Soul. When was the first kind of machinations of this put into play?
Man. After Next in Line. I mean, that was the whole point of the event. It was to see whether...
Yeah.
And I remember saying to me, if you can... he WhatsApped me and he was like, if you do well against Tony and do well against Math, then Soul's your next logical opponent. And then obviously I had to pull out the Math battle, and I was like, he's just going to fuck it for me. But to be fair, nobody really had the momentum at that point to stop me from getting Soul. Realistically, Gem and Quill, in my mind, were the only two that were going to get in the way of the title match. Gem's publicly said repeatedly he didn't want it. Mm-hmm. And then, I see Quill and Soul get announced as a one-rounder on 8th birthday, and I thought, well, that's pretty much me, isn't it? I don't see anybody else is going to get it, to be honest. So it was from that point onwards. But it only really, to be honest, no conversation ever happened where it got confirmed. I just chatted to her about a month ago and was like, I suppose I better start writing for Soul or whatever. This is going to be a crazy battle. And he got back to me and he was like, yeah, he said, I've got no doubt. And I thought, well, that's confirmed it there, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, by the time we're going to get to this event, Soul would effectively have been champ for around about 2 years. Which is mad, really. The C Major battle was uploaded May 2015, and this is going to be right at the end of April 2017. And he's had a fantastic 2 years. To be fair, he's gone overseas, both to Scrambles and King of the Dart. He's had terrific battles with Raptor, with Purpose, with Quill, with Real Deal most recently. With all due respect, Shox, I mean, obviously I'm a giant fan of yours, but Soul is in the form of his life right now. How are you preparing for this?
With a lot of shaky legs.
Right.
Soul is one of my favourite writers, period, ever. Not even just in battle rap, just in general. Yeah. Any form of
I agree,
written medium, he is unbelievable. And the worst thing that you can do when you're battling Soul is to research Soul. Mm-hmm. Because you watch his battles one after the other and you're like, I'm gonna fucking die. This guy is so good. But it's about having faith in my own material. And I'm not going in there trying to play him at his own game. I'm doing what's got me to where I'm at, but on a level that, I will give him the best shit that I could ever write. And I've got, I'd say, comfortably 2 rounds done. And I just keep writing. I I guarantee by the time I get to the venue, those rounds will be very different than they are now. Mm-hmm. But I've got to talk to the guy. I've got to say what it is I want to say, and punch like I'm known to punch. And if he wins on the day, it's because he deserves to win. It's as simple as that. If I win, it's because I deserve it on the day. But one thing I can promise, I got asked this question yesterday. Do you think you're going to beat Soul? And I said, I don't know. I know everyone would like to hear me say yes. Yeah. I don't know, because he's not just any opponent. And if I can't just, we've seen what happens when you sit here and go, and I'm going to kill this guy. It doesn't work. So I don't know if I'll beat him. But one thing I can promise is that he will never have had a battle like this. I will put him on his toes from the opening bar, and I will not let up until the third. 100%. It'll be the hardest battle he's ever had, I think.
Yeah. I think that's fair to say. And I mean, as a huge fan of both you guys, the prospect is mouthwatering. As a Don't Flop fan, it's a golden era that we're getting a title match between Shox and Soul.
If you're a fan of bars,
oh my god,
this is gonna blow the roof off. There's gonna be so many. It's one of those things where in the building it's going to be incredible, and then on YouTube you're going to catch a whole nother layer of punches beneath it that you didn't know were there on both sides. That's what he does. That's what I do. And I mean, it's literally Clash of the Titans. That's how I feel about it. It's going to be insane. I can't wait to stand in front of him and hear what he's got to say to me.
Yeah.
As a fan. But as a battler, I'm going to rip his fucking throat out as best I can. Some of the stuff that I've got for him is levels above anything I've ever spat.
Oh my God.
So we'll see what happens.
And the venue is obviously, I think it's a new venue for Don't Flop, Camden.
Yeah,
So...
I don't know much about it.
No,
but,
me neither.
I'm glad. Our ministry was starting to feel a bit stale, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I can't wait. I mean, there's no way I can hope for a pit battle in a place like this. Not with the amount of tickets they're going to sell.
No.
But I'm hoping it's not a huge 20-foot elevated in the air stage like some of them are. I don't know.
I had a little look now on Google Images, and it doesn't seem that big. It seems like there's quite a lot of space for people to be, but the actual it's not as lofty as like Ministry.
It's 600 capacity, isn't it? Which is, there was probably about that many people during Soul versus Raptor, so it's going to be a big crowd.
Yeah,
the tickets go on sale tomorrow. I think today.
It is today. Yeah, we're recording this on Sunday, and I don't think they've gone live yet. But yeah, I think we're all waiting on those, and yeah, obviously it's going to be a sellout, no doubt. Can't wait to see it, man. But yeah, this has been great. I mean, I cannot wait for you versus Soul, and it's been great catching up on all the other battles. Like obviously you got the top 8 one after Soul, regardless of what happens, haven't you?
I have. Do you know what? I haven't even been keeping up with it because it's just so difficult to anyway. Like, so many battles have been cancelled. So many people have pulled out of the tournament. I don't even know who's still in it. I'm going to be honest about that. I'm probably sound really ignorant right now, but I've had other things to concentrate on. Do you know what I mean? I've not paid too much attention to it. But they'll just tell me. I promised that I would be the prize. God, mate, what a prick. I'm the prize. I said I'd battle the winner of the tournament, whoever that be. If it's Jace, it's hilarious. I got a lot of time for Jace, man. He's a big supporter of mine, and I really like the guy.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what I'd say to him for 3 rounds, but I mean, let's be honest, he's gonna get 3 rounds of indirects.
Right. Yeah.
But they are, it's still gonna hurt.
Yeah. I think if you just sort of play on that idea of it's kind of a silly, like, what is this battle sort of thing, and I think that would be really good. I don't know if they're doing it at the Checkpoint pre-party. It hasn't been announced for that. They've announced that whole card, the pre-party card. So maybe it's going to be a little bit further on. And the fact that iKid is battling someone makes me think that maybe A1. I mean, but maybe not. Who knows? But regardless, that is in the future. It's Soul. We've got to think about
me and A.
Yeah,
I actually think that'd be a brilliant battle.
I think that'd be a fantastic battle. Yeah,
I really get on with A though, so I'm not sure what I'd say to him.
Yeah. I know what you're saying, but yeah, let's just focus on Soul for now. But Shox, as always, this has been fantastic, man. How do people get at you? Social media and that sort of stuff.
Oh, Twitter. I'm a Twitter head.
Yeah.
At Shox2 the system, 2 being a number 2,
right.
And not da. Mm-hmm. I don't do the da. No. Stop putting that in my name, people. Right? So Shox Da Rebel. Come on. Or Instagram, Shox the Rebel. Mm-hmm. I'm a man of simple means, mate. Everything's just Shox the Rebel.
And last time we spoke, you work on quite a bit of music. Where do people get at that? When is any new coming out?
I've hit a wonderful stall where I've just concentrated on battling, and my music is just sitting there. Shouting at me. So when it's out, I'll be sure to hit you up and you can share the link for me. But
yeah, of course.
I want to get this. I'm trying to get things wrapped up. I was hoping to have some physical copies to give out at this event, but I don't think it's going to happen right now.
Well, that's been brilliant, man. I just want to say quickly, follow the show at Battle Resume. Check us out, patreon.com/Battle Resume. Please subscribe. But Shox, as ever, it's been brilliant to talk to you, man.
Thank you very much, Tom, as always.